Alright, I'm for your next task. Yes, it's about my orders. I have thought it's over, and I want you to interview 3 informants in Vivec city concerning the Nerivarin and 6th house. First, I want you to speak with Adheranir, a Khajiit and Thieves Guild operative. Second, I want you to speak with Huleya, an Argonian in the Morak tongue. Finally, I want you to speak with Mehramilo, a temple priestess. Here, I have written the details down so you won't forget, and here are 200 drakes for bribes and other expenses. Okay. So what about my... So what about this Khajiit? You will find her in St. Olm's canton in Vivec. Be careful what you say and use common sense. People in the cantons are suspicious of outsiders. You may have to win or purchase their confidence. Okay. So next, Huleya. Huleya is an Argonian and a Morak tongue assassin. You will find him in Vivec at the Black Shark Corner Club in the lower wasteworks of the Foreign Quarter. In addition to his other skills, Huleya is also known around Vivec city as a student of history and a lover of books and old things. Okay. Black Shark Corner Club. Lower wasteworks of Foreign Quarter. Okay, he's going to be my #1 priority then. Alright, what about Mehramilo? She works in the libraries at the Hall of Wisdom and Justice. She's a friend, so be careful and don't get her in trouble. The temple is suspicious of outlanders and wouldn't be happy to find Mehra talking with you about religious matter. She will be easy to spot. Look for the priestess with the copper hair and copper eyes. Okay. So Vivec city then. Okay, I guess next morning. First I need rest. South Wall is the nearest tavern. Yes, 1 bed. I think I don't have... I think that I don't have anything to read this time. I just think yeah. Alright. Then let's just rest. 6 hours or 7 hours. Alright. I feel refreshed. So I'm going to take a Seals Rider to Vivec.
Where would you like to go?
I'm already here. So, Black Shark Corner Club. Lower Wasteworks, he said. Okay. Why do I always have to go up? I don't see any logic in this architecture design. Okay, never mind. I'm at the lower wasteworks. Apothecary. Alchemist. Bookseller, okay.
Is there something you need?
Yeah, I'm looking for a Black Shark corner club. Maybe services? No, it's just general information. I guess it's somewhere here. Must be here. Yeah, that's it. Is that a script? Or how do you call it? A script.
So good to see you.
You don't know me.
Be well, traveler.
I guess you must be the one. I welcome you as a friend of my friend, Uranus Nero, but I wish to go to my friend's bookstore, and these troublesome fools are in my way. I have tried to persuade them, but they hate my race. I fear there will be violence. Perhaps if you speak with them, but be careful and be ready. My friend Jobasha the Khajiit has a bookstore, Jobasha's Rare Books. If you will agree to travel together with me there, I will answer your questions, but before we go, I beg you to try to persuade these troublesome fools. Otherwise, I feel they will attack us the moment we will go to leave. Okay. The sight of a free Argonian offends these racist ducks. It would tarnish my Moroccan honor to slay them, and I don't want to trouble my friend Sorelis Gomez by fighting in his club. But I must go to my friend's bookstore where we can talk in peace. If you have a way with words, perhaps you can talk to them. Or if you have a way with money, they might be bought. Otherwise, I fear there must be bloodshed. I wonder which one of them.
Probably nothing.
Well, let's have my amulet ready. Let's see. Charm.
So strange this place, far from the marsh. We greet you warmly.
Am I talking to you, Fetcher? No, I am talking to the filthy lizard, so push off. Hey, about that lizard. Blah blah blah, he can stay here forever for all I care. Not my problem. Okay, that was easy. I guess they fear me. So let's travel. We leave the door to the foreign quarter wasteworks. Turn right. West, continue down the hall and across the atrium on the same level. Then follow the opposite corridor, west on the other side of the atrium, all the way to Jabasha's door. I must warn you, unless these troublesome fools are persuaded to behave like civilized beings, they may be fighting and killing if we try to travel together. Yeah, it's already solved. Come on, follow me.
Walk with virtue, Outlander.
Always. So, I saw a bookshop like a minute ago. Yeah, that must be it. Yes, thank you very much. We should be free from distraction here. Now, I said I will tell you about the Nereva Ring cult, so you can report back to Chaos. And I don't know of any Sixth House cult, but I can tell you what I do know. Well, tell me about Nereva Ring first. To understand the Nereva Ring cult, you must understand the history of the Ashlanders. Nerevar means something very different to the Ashlanders from what he means to Dunmer of the Great Houses. You should also know about the persecution of the Nerevarine and the legacy of the False Incarnate, for the Nerevarine cult as is at the heart of the ancient conflict between the nomadic Ashlanders and the settled Great House Dunmer. Here is a summary for Chaos, but ask your questions and I'll answer in detail. What about their history? In the first era, the nomadic Ashlanders and the settled Dunmer clans were much alike, but after the First Council and the formation of the Great Houses, Ashlanders have been steadily forced into the poorest and most hostile lands. Now the nomadic tribes look to the prophesied return of Nerevar for a restoration of their ancient rites and religious traditions. Good luck with that. Okay. What about the persecution? The temple treats the Nerevarine prophecies as heresy, and the temple imprisons and executes heretics, unless prevented by imperial law. But since the Nerevarine cult is hostile to the Empire does not interfere when temple persecutes the cult. Makes sense. Ashlanders hate the temple, and particularly the ordinators, for their ruthless treatment of Nerevarine cultists. Okay. What about the False Incarnate? In the past, some have claimed to be the reincarnated Nerevar. The most recent is known as Pigstar, a figure of legend among the Waste tribes for the last 30 years. The temple says these false incarnates disprove the prophecies, since the false incarnates fail and come to nothing, but the mystical Nerevarine cult glorifies rather than shrinks from contradictions, citing the appearance of failed incarnates as certain proof of Nerevar's coming rebirth. Okay, so they are persistent. Interesting. What about the sixth house then? I have never heard of such thing. House Dagoth was a sixth house, but in the war of the First Council, they betrayed the other great houses and were destroyed by their treason. But I have never heard of anyone worshipping them. Dagoth, or the ancient head of House Dagoth, is a devil of the tribunal faith, but I have never heard of anyone worshipping him either. Interesting. Well, thank you for your information. So you also provide training, right? Athletics, sneak, or acrobatics. Very interesting.
If you're here for trouble, you'll get more than you bargained for.
How you appeared behind my back? Were you following us? We are supposed to be on the same side, you know. We are both the officers of the Imperial Law. No, you don't think so? Such a pity.
You honor me. Please speak.
We've already spoken, but thanks for your athletics training. So let's continue. So my next target is Ekajit. St. Olm's Canton, she said, right? Not she, but he. Chaos says that.
Go ahead, Outlander. What do you need?
Where can you take me? Vivec has 8 cantons. What about St. Olm's Canton? St. Darian Canton and St. Olm's Canton are residence cantons for commoners and paupers. The temple charges very reasonable rents for comfortable workshops, shops and apartments, and most of Vardenfell's crafts and light industry is housed in these cantons. The Abbey of St. Delian the Wise is one of the top tier of St. Delian, and Hlalo Councillor Yingling Half-Troll has a top tier manor on St. Olm's. Interesting. So they must... I assume that they're somewhere near the temple? Maybe if I travel to one of those nearest cantons, I will be able to travel further.
Is there something you need?
Yes, could you take me, let's say, to the temple quarter? Yeah. Since I'm here, perhaps I should visit the
Outlander,
priestess
what do you
first.
want?
So, let's see. She works in a library. So I have to look for a one. Justice office? No. Another office? Hall of Wisdom. Office of the Watch.
Was you?
Ordinator Barracks? No. Maybe in the Hall of Wisdom. But I want to check here first. This is the same place, right?
We're watching you, scum.
Hey. That's rude. Hi, Fane. Religious fanatics. Milo's quarters. Okay, so the door is locked, I guess. So she's not here at the moment. Library of Vivec. 2 men and 1 woman.
I'm waiting.
Yeah, you fit the description. Yes, I'm Mehra Milo. Kai sent you. Follow me into the back of the library. We can talk here. Alright.
Speak quickly, Outlander, or go away.
Go ahead, but I'm afraid I don't know anything about the Sixth House cult, but I can tell you about the Nerevar Ring cult. So proceed. The temple worships Nerevar as a saint and a hero, but prophecies of his reincarnation are punished and as wicked heresy. The Nerevar Ring cult claims the tribunal are false gods, hence the temple's persecution of the Nerevar Ring cult. A group called the Dissident Priests disputes the temple doctrine on the Nerevar prophecies. The proscribed book, Progress of Truth, describes their beliefs. Get a copy of the Progress of Truth for Chaos Crusades. That will tell him things he needs to know about the Nerevar cult. Really? So, about the persecution. It's an Ashlander cult. Primitive superstition, says the temple. Nerevarins say the tribunal are false gods. I have never understood why the temple wastes so much energy on them. The faithful cannot be shaken by such attacks, and the Ashlanders are just ignorant savages. But since the submission of the temple to the empire and the erosion of faith amongst the Dunmer, the militant wing of the empire of the temple is increasingly fierce in its attacks on heretics and heathens. Okay. So, what are the tribunal? Almalexia, Vivec, and Sota Seal are mortal guardians who walked the earth, defeated the Dunmer's greatest enemies, the Nords and the Dwarves, and achieved divine substance through superhuman discipline and virtue.